I'll cut it.
Episode 29.
29. Yep.
We're in October.
Yeah. We're recording this, and it's going to be in October for sure. Mm-hmm.
It's recording right now.
Yes.
And we're in October.
We're recording in October, and it's for October, and we've skewed into recording the day before it publishes. That's okay. We should try to record another one in the middle of the week.
If we even have time to do that.
Oh, craziness. That's what we do. It's Bantober.
And I'm a part of it.
Yep, we're all a part of it.
But I'm especially a part of it this year.
You're an integral part of what's happening out there.
Yes.
Me or your mother, or possibly both of us, could skip it and things would still happen with many other adults, but you are an integral. You are very important to how things run out there.
Yes.
So you can't get sick until November, okay?
Sounds like I already am.
There we go. That's a cold opening. Welcome to Bantober, October, and
Burr months.
Yeah, Burr months, but it's not Burr yet. Not here in central Pennsylvania. By the end of this week, after this airs, we're getting closer to the Burr.
Thank God. I'm tired of this hot.
No, man.
Even the summer birds and the insects are getting confused.
I agree.
Because
Are
yesterday...
you going to plan in a month when you wake up and it's 50 degrees?
Yesterday, one of the band people had a bug bite. I won't say who it is for privacy.
A bug bite?
Yes.
A mosquito?
Yes.
Getting people.
I'm so done with mosquitoes.
You're ready to be spooked out in the cold.
Yes.
We're going to talk about some people who this happened to late August, but many decades ago. 70? Is that where we're at? Yeah.
670?
No, boy.
I figure out how to make that joke every day.
It's going to get old quick. It's not even a pun. It's not even a joke.
But it is. It's not to you because you don't understand it.
If I told you a quote from Pauly Shore, you would have no idea what I was talking about.
I don't even know who that is.
Wheeze in the Juice? No? None of that?
Nope.
All right. We should probably get into this.
Yeah.
Number one, where can all the links be found?
Linktree.com/BOTQS.
All the links, including we're on Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. That's where we have the videos.
Yes.
We don't have videos anywhere else. That's okay.
And there's so many more platforms that we're on.
Yep.
It's easiest just to go to the Linktree.
Yeah.
To find all of them.
But I should also set up a Podlink. Because you can go to podlink.com and just search for a podcast. And then it's just automatically populated with all the podcast distribution things like iHeartRadio and Podbean and Podsprout and TuneIn Radio. There's a bunch of them. So many of them. But anyway, Miss Phoenix, what question are we bringing in this episode?
What are the Hopkinsville Goblins?
And by the way you said that, it doesn't sound like you have any idea what the Hopkinsville Goblins are.
Not really.
You didn't look anything up about this? I just threw this one at you and you're like, okay.
I forgot that we were doing this.
It's pretty interesting. You have your phone out, so I don't know if you're going to be able to do some searching on your own. But no, that's not what I wanted to search. And we will be talking about this soon in the notes. All right, that doesn't seem to be working. I'll give that a minute while I read the intro portion here. Unless you want to read the intro version.
Let's go.
You do that.
The Kelly-Hopkinsville encounter of late August 21st into early morning August 22nd, 1955, remains one of the most compelling and debated close contact cases in the history of UFO incidents. UFO?
Yep.
I thought these were goblins.
Oh, we're going to get into it.
Okay. What began as a report of a silvery object, that was in quotes, landing on a rural Kentucky farmhouse, it escalated into a terrifying hours-long siege by a dozen or more small humanoid creatures. The eyewitness accounts, which describe beings with oversized heads, talons, shimmering metallic skin, were corroborated by police who found the family in a state of palpable, genuine terror. While law enforcement and official investigations, including the U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book, classified the event as a hoax, no definitive physical evidence was ever found to prove or disprove the claims. It's my 6-7 up.
Starting to sound like Henry Zabrowski from the last podcast on the left. He just burps into the mic too.
I go away from it. That's how I like to greet people too. Or answer questions. No definitive physical evidence was ever found to prove or disprove the claims. We will dive into the timeline of the encounter, critically analyze the competing theories, from the mundane misidentification of natural phenomena to the extraordinary claim of extraterrestrial visitation, and examine the enduring legacy that has cemented this story's place in both ufology. Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely heard people pronounce it ufology.
Ufology?
Ufology, yeah. Either one.
Ufology lore and popular culture. The analysis reveals not a simple case of truth versus fiction, but a complex tapestry of human perception, natural explanation, and the powerful process of myth-making.
Yep, and as we get into this, you'll see that this family is not a family that normally goes to authorities for their issues. They are a country family that normally take care of their own ways. If something happens, they will get into stuff by themselves. They don't normally involve the police. But in this case, the entire family was freaked out. And here's a picture of, and we will get into this in a little while, the Pokemon Sableye. And the Hopkinsville Goblin is the inspiration for this Pokemon.
I wondered why you were looking at Pokemon.
It'll come into the notes here in a little bit.
I thought that was like fan art of Hopkinsville Goblins. I was like, who's making all this Pokemon stuff?
Well, I mean, basically, the Pokemon Company decided to make fan art of the Hopkinsville Goblin or goblins and turn it into a Pokemon to be part of their whole story.
For the listeners hearing my drinking, I'm drinking 6-7 Up, and for the watchers, it's in a red Solo cup, yes.
These are not important details.
They're important to me.
The foundation of the Hopkinsville incident is a detailed, sequential narrative provided by a large group of witnesses. The alleged events unfolded on a remote farm in Christian County, Kentucky, involving the Sutton family and their guests, Billy Ray Taylor and his wife. The farmhouse, a modest 3-room structure, lacked modern amenities like running water, a telephone, or television, providing a secluded backdrop for the events that would follow. The encounter's notable characteristics, its duration of several hours, the close proximity of the beings, and the unusually high number of witnesses distinguish it from many other reported UFO sightings, and force a more nuanced examination of the claims.
Excuse me. The incident began at approximately 7 p.m. on Sunday, August 21st, 1955. Billy Ray Taylor stepped outside to fetch water from the backyard well when he saw a silvery object in the sky. He described it as real bright with an exhaust all the colors of the rainbow.
All right, now reread that quote with a deep Southern accent.
Real bright with an exhaust all the colors of the rainbow. It's a bit English at the end. And believed it to be an unusual flying craft or flying saucer. And those were in quotes.
He picked him up and shook him like a dog.
What?
That was in Monsters, Inc. I think it was in Monsters, Inc. Where they thought it was a UFO. Everybody described it as a UFO, and no, they were describing Boo getting into the monster world. Like she was an alien that was abducting people. But that's definitely like an eyewitness thing in early days of UFO stuff, where they would get these witnesses that would just come in and say the most bizarre things like that. He picked him up and shook him like a dog.
Upon running back inside and sharing his account with the other family members initially dismissed his story, suggesting he had likely seen a meteor. This initial reaction underscores a key aspect of the event. A natural phenomenon may have inadvertently prepared the witnesses for the extraordinary experiences that followed.
So they saw this thing, or he suggested this thing, and now they've prepped their brains for some more bizarre things that could happen in the night. So now it's like pre-gaming for a thing. Like you're super psyched for the football game, so you're getting in a football mood, and then when the football comes, you're like super excited about football time. But now back in 1955, in the middle of nowhere, no running water, I don't know if they had electricity to say that. They had nothing else, didn't really have much else going on. So now that he saw this silvery object, everybody has now prepared their brains for more bizarre things to happen. About an hour later, the encounter escalated dramatically. The family dog's incessant barking drew Lucky Sutton and Billy Ray Taylor to the back door, where they saw a small, strange creature amid a peculiar glow. The being was described as about 3.5 feet tall, with a disproportionately large, round head, long arms that nearly reached the ground, and hands with talons. Its eyes reportedly glowed with a yellowish light, and its body appeared to have a shimmering, bright metal or silvery sheen. As the creature approached the back door with its hands now raised as if held up at gunpoint, the men, genuinely terrified, fired at it with a 20-gauge shotgun and a .22 rifle. The bullets seemed to have no effect, instead producing a noise like bullets being rattled about in a metal drum or striking a metal bucket. The creature reportedly did a flip, scrambled upright, and retreated into the darkness.
The situation quickly descended into a prolonged siege. Similar creatures appeared at a side window, and again the men fired through the screen, with the creature seemingly unfazed and again performing a flip before disappearing. Are they acrobats or something?
They're just floating around like gravity doesn't affect them.
One account from Mrs. Langford described a creature looking like a 5-gallon gasoline can with a head on top and small legs, with a shimmering bright metal appearance. The family's fear intensified when Billy Ray Taylor briefly stepped outside and a claw-like hand was seen reaching down from an overhang to touch his hair. The group pulled him back inside as Lucky Sutton fired at another creature in a tree, which allegedly floated to the ground and scurried away. For several hours, the family remained inside, hearing occasional scratches on the roof.
You scared yet?
Santa Claus?
Well, not in August.
Maybe Krampus.
In August? He comes in early December. Is Krampus just bored in August? Gonna go terrify people in Kentucky?
Yeah.
The terrifying episode culminated at 11 p.m. when the entire group, consisting of 8 adults and 3 children, abandoned the house and hightailed it to the Hopkinsville police station. Police Chief Russell Greenwell noted that the family was genuinely terror-struck, with one man's pulse measured at 140 beats per minute, a physical manifestation of their state of extreme anxiety. A large contingent of officers, including state troopers and military police from nearby Fort Campbell, accompanied the family back to the farm. The on-site investigation, however, yielded no evidence of the creatures, a saucer landing, footprints, or blood trails. Officers did find shell casings from the gunshots and broken windows and holes in screens, confirming that a prolonged struggle had taken place even if the target was unseen or misidentified.
About the Krampus thing? I think he was on vacation.
He wasn't looking for no trouble, just showed
Causing
up
the
and
troubles.
why is he causing trouble? That's not vacation for him.
'Cause he's bored.
But
That's a Krampus thing.
But he's not on vacation.
Yeah, he is. It's the middle of August. He's enjoying his last bit of vacation.
But it's not vacation if he's working.
He's causing trouble for funsies.
Prankster Krampus.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't like the other children pranking people, but he likes to do it himself.
Hypocrite.
He likes to do it in the honor of the poor families of the children he take.
He's a hypocrite. That's what you're saying. So he can do it, but it's not okay for the kids to do it.
Teaching him to do right, but he can't do it himself. You know?
I don't know.
Like giving advice, but not taking your own advice.
Yeah.
After
Yep.
the police left the farmhouse at about 2:15 a.m., the family claimed the creatures returned. Mrs. Langford reportedly saw one glowing repeatedly by her bedside window. It's not that good.
Keep going.
I think it's because I'm sick. With its claw-like hand on the screen. The final alleged sighting occurred just before dawn at approximately 4:45 a.m., and the creatures were never seen again.
Nope. And that's basically the story, but we'll get into some theories. We'll run down the timeline real quick again, and then we'll get into some theories about the whole thing. So, the events of that night, as told by the witnesses, can be summarized as the following. August 21st, 1955, at 7 p.m., Billy Ray Taylor sees a bright, silvery, disc-shaped object land near the house.
8 p.m., the Suttons' dog barks. 2 men see a creature described as a small humanoid goblin with a large head, glowing yellow eyes, and talons.
Sometime between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m., the family engages in a prolonged siege, firing at multiple creatures that appear at windows, on the roof, and near the house. The bullets appear to have no effect.
11 p.m., the family, in a state of horror, flees to the Hopkinsville police station.
Between late August 21st and into August 22nd, 1955. So from 11 p.m. August 21st to 2:15 a.m. August 22nd. Police, state troopers, and military police investigate the farmhouse but find no physical evidence of creatures, only bullet casings and broken windows.
Sometime between 2:30 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. After the police leave, the family claims the creatures return and are seen again before daybreak, at which point they disappear for good. Vampire
goblins. That's what you're going with. That's a fun combination of
They
things.
got out. They didn't get back to the shadows, and they didn't get back to the shadows quick enough, so they burnt to ash. And became the gunpowder and the bullets.
Will goblins turn to stone, or is that trolls? I think it depends on the story that you're reading.
I don't think either.
One of them turned to stone. There is a story, I think it's either, I thought it would happen in Lord of the Rings, where the trolls or goblins, I think it was goblins, they had captured, I might be confusing two stories, but what I'm thinking about is they had captured Bilbo Baggins, and they wanted to tell their story so much that Bilbo just kept asking them questions and questions and questions about their stories. Like, they just kept talking. And they didn't realize how close sunrise was. They were supposed to get out of the sun before sunrise, go back to a cave or whatever. They were going to eat Bilbo. Pretty sure it was Lord of the Rings. But he just kept asking them questions about their stories. And they didn't realize how close to dawn it was, and then they returned to stone, and Bilbo could escape. Yeah, that's one of the stories. Goblins or trolls, something like that. The enduring mystery of the Kelly Hopkinsville incident stems from a central paradox: a lack of any definitive physical evidence for the creatures themselves, countered by overwhelming psychological and physical evidence of the witnesses' genuine fear and actions. There ain't no Hopkinsville Goblins poop.
But there's Hopkinsville Goblin ashes out there somewhere.
There's what?
There should be some ashes out there somewhere.
Ashes of what? Oh, of...
Goblin vampires.
They blew up in the sun?
Yeah, confetti.
Well, I think they were probably still awake when the sun was rising up, so they didn't hear boop,
like a balloon. Or like a ball.
Right.
Like they just blew up like what's her name in Willy Wonka?
Violet.
Like they blew up like big blueberries.
Violet, you're Violet.
And then the sun just pierces. Doop. Boom.
The sincerity of the witnesses.
The sincerity of the witnesses is a point repeatedly noted by investigators. The police chief, Russell Greenwell, a seasoned law enforcement officer, expressed surprise at the family's state of distress, stating, "These aren't the kind of people who normally run to the police for help. What they do is reach for their guns."
So they did, but then it didn't work.
And it worked. Why not don't work? Police. The fact that they were hysterical and physically shaken upon arrival at the station lends significant credibility to their belief that they had undergone a terrifying ordeal. Additionally, ufologist Isabel Davis, who conducted a thorough investigation of the incident in 1956, found the family matriarch, Mrs. Langford, to be a somber, no-nonsense woman who seemed to have no motivation for fabricating the story. The consistency of the accounts across multiple witnesses interviewed separately further supports the claim of a shared lived experience.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They're sort of like how we talked about the Beast of Javadan. Something killed a bunch of freaking people out there. So something was happening until a certain point. And these people, something scared the bejesus out of them so much that they went to the police, when normally these people don't go to the police. They will handle things on their own. Somebody comes on their property and they don't like them, well, boom.
Chuk pow.
And so it's crazy. So there is legitimate police reports for something bizarre happening out there that night.
I don't think a group of teenagers, or even they're so tiny that that can't possibly be human.
No.
Because something that tiny would have to be like toddlers. I don't think a toddler can do a bunch of flips.
In the air. Just float about in the air.
And float down from a tree.
No.
Like, what? Are you Jesus? Are you Barbie?
Barbie.
Yeah, when she floats down from her house.
In the Barbie world.
Yes.
Despite the compelling nature of the personal accounts, the official investigation was unable to find any physical trace of the alleged beings. Police found no footprints, blood, or any other sign of a struggle beyond the damage to the house caused by the family's own gunfire. This creates a critical tension in the case. The police findings confirm that the family was actively defending themselves against what they perceived to be a threat, but they do not substantiate the nature of that threat. This absence of corroborating evidence led the U.S. Air Force, through its Project Blue Book, to officially classify the incident as a hoax without further comment.
A point of contention and confusion surrounding the investigation is the role of military personnel. Some reports claim that Air Force officers were present at the scene the day after the event. However, other investigators, such as Brian Dunning, have stated they could find no evidence to support this claim, noting that the military police who accompanied the initial police detail were from an Army base, not the Air Force. This small but important detail highlights how misinformation and embellishment can become part of a case's lore over time.
Do you know what Project Blue Book is?
Not really.
All right, we should probably do an episode on that. It's supposed to be a secretive group that the government put together to investigate claims of extraterrestrial activities, or unexplained activities, rather. Paranormal, otherwise, out of this world, unexplained incidents, events. But we'll get into a whole episode of it because it gets much, much deeper. There's all kinds of crazy alien stuff that the government's like, yeah, we should probably look into this. Or we should show people that we're looking into this, but definitely keep some secrets over here. Area 51? Anybody? The enduring appeal of the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter lies in its resistance to a single, definitive explanation. The circumstances of the event are sufficiently complex that they have given rise to a wide range of theories, from the grounded and logical to the highly speculative. The most compelling explanations for the incident involve the misidentification of common natural phenomena. These theories provide plausible alternatives that align with many of the witnesses' descriptions while dismissing the need for paranormal explanation.
The leading skeptical explanation is the Great Horned Owl theory, advanced by researchers like Joe Nickell and French ufologist Renaud Lesler.
You just roll your tongue? Where are we? Renaud Leclerc.
Renaud Leclerc. The physical characteristics of great horned owls correspond remarkably well with the descriptions of the goblins. These nocturnal birds are native to the area, can stand as tall as 2 feet, and have large, round heads with prominent feather tufts that could be mistaken for long ears.
Mm.
Their yellow eyes reflect light intensely, creating a glowing effect in the dark, and their long wings could easily be mistaken for arms. Most significantly, they are known to be highly territorial and aggressive when defending their nests, which could explain the sustained hours-long assault on the farmhouse.
It seems weird to me that, these people have been living there for a long, long time. So the explanation of the great horned owl, the physical explanation makes sense, but I don't know if a great horned owl would put their nest so close to regular activity around a house. The house has been there for a long time. So I can see that being a plausible theory, easily explained, but the nest around it, not so sure about that. Maybe go with an owl theory, that great horned owl theory, and say that it was actually hunting prey around the house. There are definitely field mice that would go around the house where people leave their food out, or there's garbage outside, or what have you. So maybe the owl was hunting something right around the house, and that's why it stayed around the house. But for hours, hunting prey around the same spot, maybe.
Also, for the, if people didn't know, if it were true that it was a great horned owl, then you would hear it, some people would think you hear it fly, but you don't hear owls fly.
No.
They have special wings. Their wings are special. I forget what it's called. It starts with an S. The little...
Oh, I have no idea. No idea at all. Silent owl flight. Look at us doing the research on the fly. Here, why don't you look that up while I read the next section? Since you had an idea what it was anyway. Another natural explanation addresses the initial sighting. The UFO seen by Billy Ray Taylor was likely a very bright meteor or fireball, possibly from the Perseid meteor shower, which was active at the time. This initial sighting could have primed the group psychologically, setting them on edge and making them more susceptible to misinterpreting subsequent events. The luminous green light, or luminous patch, described by some investigators, could also be explained by foxfire, a bioluminescent fungus that glows on decaying wood in the forest. See, there was no street lights, so everybody's eyes are, just about accustomed to the dark, so you're going to notice some little bits of bioluminescence in the middle of wherever.
I found out what it's called. They're called serrations. So
Right.
they, pierce through the wind, pierce through air.
Cool.
If you look up a video, on YouTube, there's a video. It will be BBC Earth.
I'm
and
pretty
it
sure I've
shows-
seen this clip a bunch of times.
We saw this video last year when we were on our owl unit,
Okay.
and it shows how loud different, it showed a pigeon, a hawk,
Mhm.
and a barn owl. And the pigeon was very loud when flying.
It had a rhythm, but it was crazy loud.
Really fast,
Oh, that one was. But the hawk was
had,
more slow and rhythmic.
yeah.
But
The owl, nothing. They had a bunch of mics. They had whole headphones on. There was 2 people, no sound.
nothing. Which is awesome.
They even
That's so
had
cool.
the sound wave thing.
Yeah. while recording, and there was no kind of sound wave that
Like,
came through.
there was the tiniest difference.
Yeah. Pretty much imperceptible to most mammals' ears.
Yeah. So, owls are really quiet unless you hear their calls. Barn owls? Whoa.
Ooh.
Only greyhound owls have that generic who.
Well, that's what we're talking about. But there was no who that night, apparently, according to witnesses.
Well, I think if there was an actual hunt, like if they were actually hunting prey, they wouldn't want to alert the prey. So
they were silent. I mean, that seems like a plausible earthly explanation for what happened. If you separate the incidents, if you separate the silvery patch thing, the silvery stuff going on in the forest that Billy Ray saw first, that's one incident. Incident number 2 is the creature, potentially, very possibly the owl. One or more.
if it was a silvery patch, couldn't it be like the skin of, like, the fur of a mouse in the moonlight?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, think about a Kentucky wild mouse. Or
Decades
like
ago.
a bunny.
Yeah, sure. Maybe it was a bunny that the owl was searching, or a snake.
That could be shiny metallic.
It could be shiny, wet looking.
It could have totally been a greyhound owl hunting a snake.
In the dark. You want to read about alcohol?
Oh. I guess.
But it's not. It's just a controversial theory.
The most controversial explanation is the alcohol theory. Some psychologists using the case as an academic example of pseudoscience have suggested that intoxication may have played a role. However, this claim is not supported by the primary evidence and is not a point of significant friction even within the skeptical community. Contemporary newspaper reports from the time noted that all officials appeared to agree that there was no drinking involved. Furthermore, researchers who practice a more rigorous form of skeptical inquiry point out that a large group of 11 people, including young children, makes mass delusion from intoxication an unsupportable and deeply flawed theory. This debate illustrates a crucial distinction in investigative methodology. The difference between a simple, unsubstantiated debunking and a thorough evidence-based inquiry.
A more direct psychological explanation is that of mass hysteria or shared delusion. This posits that Billy Ray Taylor's initial sighting, combined with the general Cold War era anxiety around UFOs, created a suggestible state among the group. Once one person identified a creature, the fear and stress of the situation could have led the others to misinterpret ordinary sights and sounds as extraordinary events, reinforcing their shared delusion. Yeah, they're only like 10 years out from the end of World War II. And their 1955 was Cold War, crazy Cold War era. Like, Russia's going to drop a nuclear bomb on the U.S. any minute now kind of mentality. And just craziness in the world.
Nazis are going to come and hunt us and, like, trap us.
I think that was more World War II era. 1955 was Nazis were gone. Oh well, unless somebody knew about Project Paperclip, which we could do an episode on that.
That sounds like some Poppy Playtime stuff.
Project Paperclip?
Just project.
Buddy, there is a crazy amount of noise that you're making with that thing right now. There is so many out of this world projects that we can get into. Project Paperclip or Operation High Dive, I think is what it is. Admiral Byrd going through Hollow Earth. I know you're looking at me crazy. We got to get through October. We got to get through the scary stuff before you get into the crazy conspiracy theories.
We already talked about what conspiracy theory is.
Well, we got Hollow Earth, we got Flat Earth we can do, we've got, what was I just talking about? Project Paperclip was a real thing that the U.S. brought, and super intelligent, relatively speaking. They were Nazis that the U.S., Nazi scientists that the U.S. brought to the U.S. to get acclimated into the U.S., and one of those scientists that worked directly with Hitler was a huge part of NASA who helped to get the United States to the moon. A Nazi scientist. It's not a conspiracy theory. That's the truth. And there were many, many other scientists, of German scientists that were stamped Nazi scientists that lived in the US. So if there was any kind of wind that anybody got that in the US in that era, 1955 was like prime era for that stuff to be going on. They stashed these scientists and in some far off state and far away from cities just to seclude them there for a while until they were ready to use them because there was other things going on in the world. That's for real. Project Paperclip is crazy.
The hoax theory suggests the entire incident was a deliberate fabrication for fame or profit. The fact that the family later charged admission to their property is often cited as a key piece of evidence for this theory. However, this argument is largely dismissed by investigators who saw the genuine terror of the witnesses and note that the admission fees were only implemented after the property was besieged by hundreds of curious onlookers who ridiculed the family as arrogant or fraudulent. Ignorant.
So not unlike the people that were visiting the Teletubbies site where they filmed the Teletubbies. You know, people were just coming on this property because it was in the news. People are going nuts. So the family's like, fine, we're going to capitalize on this. We're going to come on my property and drive all your vehicles on the property? Great. You're going to pay me $5 to do it. But that was one thing, like, so now they're going to capitalize on it. They're going to make money off this thing that they said they saw. Of course, it's fake. Come on. So that was one theory. At the far end of the spectrum of theories is the extraterrestrial hypothesis, which posits that the creatures were genuinely alien beings. For ufologists, the Kelly-Hopkinsville case is considered a cornerstone of close contact studies due to the consistency of witness testimony, the duration of the encounter, and the creature's purported immunity to gunfire. Proponents of this theory highlight the unique physical descriptions and the creature's unusual movements, such as floating and flipping, as evidence that defies a conventional biological explanation.
Despite these arguments, the extraterrestrial hypothesis remains an extraordinary claim that lacks extraordinary evidence. The complete absence of physical traces, blood, tissue, or technology makes it impossible to verify the central claims on the encounter.
Yeah. Physical evidence. Like I said, there's no Hopkinsville goblin poop.
Feces.
Yes. Feces.
Stool.
We have some stools.
Inside or outside?
I think they're outside right now because we're panning outside.
I'm talking about our bodies.
The Kelly-Hopkinsville incident has transcended its origins as a small town mystery to become a permanent part of American folklore and popular culture. It is a foundational case in ufology regarded as one of the most significant and well-documented close encounters. This notoriety helped shape the modern image of alien beings. The alleged little metallic men were later fused with other sightings, helping to popularize the now iconic phrase little green men, even though the original witnesses never described creatures as green.
The story has inspired a wide range of creative works, demonstrating its enduring hold on the public imagination. The incident was the basis for Steven Spielberg's unproduced film Night Skies and was a key influence on the 1986 horror comedy film Critters. More recent examples include a 2020 episode of the television series Project Blue Book and the Hopkins Gremlins in the Pathfinder role-playing game, which are directly based on the reported goblins.
Critters. That was a crazy movie. I think there's 2 or 3 of them. And you want to look up Critters?
I'm going to look up that game.
What? The Pathfinder? The Pokemon Sableye, introduced in the 3rd generation games Ruby and Sapphire, mirrors many details from the eyewitness accounts. Like the goblins, Sableye is a small, dark, humanoid-shaped creature with a large head and glowing gemstone-like eyes. Its Pokédex entry states it is feared for stealing a person's soul if they stare into its eyes. The Hopkinsville family reportedly felt a sense of dread when confronting the creatures. In the games, Sableye is often animated with a swaying or wading motion, which matches how witnesses describe the gait of the hovering creatures. While the Kentucky creatures may have come from a UFO or a cave system, Sableye is known to live deep within caves. By basing Sableye on this real-world paranormal event, the creators of Pokemon incorporated a spooky piece of American folklore into the game.
Is it these?
I don't know. Did you look up Hopkins? Look up Hopkins.
Oh, it corrected it for me.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, that image that you're looking at is how we described it in the beginning of the episode here. So it looks like it looks reptilian, but a bipedal reptilian with crazy long ears and blue glowing eyes. A silver reptilian. Its arms are so long it reaches down to its knees.
Maybe.
Something like that.
Maybe, yeah. Dang, that's a long forearm. Like, sitting down, my arm reaches to my knee.
You're folded in half, but if you stand up, it's only going to reach just past your waist.
Like, right here.
Yeah.
Like, the top of my thigh.
So it's like a whole other hand long.
Like, half of my forearm long.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool, huh?
I don't like that.
On a local level.
On a local level, the community of Hopkinsville has fully embraced its out-of-this-world history. The town of Kelly previously held the Little Green Men Days Festival. This has recently evolved into a new, larger-scale event in Hopkinsville itself. The city now hosts Alien Invasion Day annually on August 21st to commemorate the encounter. This new event, hosted by Visit Hopkinsville, is explicitly marketed as a tool for local economic development. The executive director, Amy Rogers, has stated that the goal is to revive local curiosity and attract tourists who will keep them here for days, therefore adding revenue to local businesses. This shift highlights how a historical event can evolve from an object of local folklore to a deliberate asset for modern tourism and commerce.
Yep. And just like the Albatwitch Festival. That was a couple months ago, and we went to Bigfoot thing and Mount Pleasant, West Virginia is the Mothman Festival. It's the second or third week in September.
Is there a Jersey Devil festival?
I don't know. Probably. Every state seems to have its own cryptid, and they do the Cryptid Festival. Point Pleasant. I said Mount Pleasant, and it just came to me. Point Pleasant, West Virginia is where Mothman is. And apparently this past year, there was thousands of people as far away as the United Kingdom that went to that little town and saw that big steel Mothman with his big steel butt. I want to go to more of those things. We went to the Bigfoot thing at the mall close to us.
Yeah, we got some stuff.
Mm-hmm. The Kelly Hopkinsville Goblins incident is a captivating anomaly precisely because it resists a simple explanation. It cannot be dismissed as a straightforward hoax given the genuine, documented terror of the witnesses and the physical evidence of their actions. Yet, the paranormal explanation remains purely speculative due to the complete lack of physical evidence for the creatures themselves. The most logical theories, such as the Great Horned Owl hypothesis, provide compelling points of comparison, but do not account for every single detail of the multi-hour siege, leaving room for doubt.
Ultimately, the story's true value lies not in the final conclusion, but in its status as a textbook example of a multi-witness, close-range sighting that has profoundly influenced the public imagination. The incident gave birth to the iconic Little Green Men stereotype and continues to generate both academic debate and economic benefit for the community where it all began. The Hopkinsville Goblins are, in this sense, less of a mystery to be solved and more of a cultural myth to be understood.
Isn't it cool? Now you know about the Hopkinsville Goblins.
Yay!
From Kentucky.
Kentucky.
And that's it. Maybe it was a slightly shorter episode. I don't really know how long it was. That's okay.
Who knows?
We did it, and there it is. And it's another creature that we talked about.
I think it was around basically exactly an hour.
Okay. There we did it. And again, this is a thing, like, there are police reports for this. This isn't straight up just fictional stuff that somebody made up. There's a bunch of those on the internet, of course. But there's police reports for this. There's accounts, there's reports, there's a history of the beast of Javadon. Cryptozoology is a crazy thing. Like, I don't know if these guys could be considered a cryptid creature of cryptozoology or just a UFO thing that is, put it in whatever category. But something happened to those people that night. That's the truth of it. And they got scared out of their wits and they took off to the police in the dark.
Yes.
Well, there it is. Question brought.
Question answered.